Please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment. I read all of the comments. And now, let's get on with the show. When last we left our intrepid adventurers, the party is on their way to Sylvia's Rest to visit the local lord and tell him what they've seen. Outside the tavern, Marcus and the party have encountered former paladin Linda Vec. Linda says she knows his secret. Linda says that she knows he's had a son, not by his wife. Marcus waves his hand at her accusations, saying that High Priestess Morgan is aware of the boy, and the boy was born before his marriage to his wife. Additionally, he tells her that he was unaware of the child as well, but when he was told, he gave his son legitimacy and visits often, as well as paying for his care. Linda doesn't seem moved and says under her breath, "Coward." Paladin Marcus puts his hand on his sword as if to draw steel. He steps forward, but the rest of the party rallies around him and gets between him and Paladin Linda. They ask Linda to be quiet and stop intentionally trying to start trouble. Linda Vec abruptly turns and walks back to reclaim her horse. Garu asks if all human religions treat their followers this way. Marcus doesn't say anything. He's tense until Vec collects her horse and rides off. Marcus says that Priestess Linda Vec has had a hard life and has very few social skills. He says that she accidentally killed another paladin in the past, and it deeply affected her. Marcus shakes all of this off and rallies the party together to get back on the road. As they walk, Garu chides Brock for his fling with Dursea the succubus. He says that she must really like him, else she would have disposed of him the way she got rid of the caravan master and Clep, the Lord's son. As Mercy and Finn walk, they discuss religion. Mercy finds out that Finn knows quite a lot about religion, despite being a bard. Finn attributes that to traveling with Priest Morgan, someone he knows that Mercy hasn't met yet, but will most likely meet in Sylvia's Rest. From high up on the cliffs, they can see Sylvia's Rest. It's a port city, blessed with one of the few deep water ports on the continent, and it has high cliffs on three sides of it. They consider going into town. It's not that far, but it's getting dark, and Marcus says that the winding road going down the cliff can be treacherous in the dark. He sends ahead a messenger, and they find rooms at the inn atop the cliff. That night, the party eats in the common room and spends freely. The inn is primarily a starting off place for southern-bound caravans, so it's full. Garu and Brock argue if the Orcs Head Brew that's advertised as a drink really contains Orcs Head. To decide, they order a few for the table. Mercy keeps an open eye for trouble, but the mood in the eating establishment is light for the moment. Marcus is drinking with Finn when a man with a mandolin steps into the middle of the room and begins playing music. Finn seems to enjoy the other bard's music until the other bard starts singing the song the elf who loved a sheep, and maintains a fixed glare on Garu while he's singing it. Slowly, the audience begins to realize that Garu is indeed an elf. Several drunk patrons offer to go find a sheep so Garu can act out the song for them. Marcus begins to stand up, but Finn shakes his head and stands up himself. He plays a little on his mandolin, and the bard copies it and then adds some of his own. Finn carries the original tune and plays the other bard's response and then adds more to it. Before long, the two bards are taking each other's songs, modifying them, and then sending them back to the other. Both men are sending more and more intricate tunes back and forth. Finn begins to add words to the tune, making a proper song out of it. Finn manages to lift the song from the other man, and the audience drowns him out. Totally in control of the song, Finn ends, and the room goes quiet. The other bard begins clapping for Finn as a way of surrendering the challenge to him. The bard comes over and apologizes to Garu, saying that his song was just all in good fun. Garu accepts the apology, and the bard and Finn go to a side table to take a drink. The other bard introduces himself as Jethro of Tulwar. The two men talk into the small hours, Jethro teaching Finn a special song called The Lament of Tara Dane, a song about a princess's love for a man she cannot have. As the sun is coming up, Finn staggers into the rented room where everyone else is sleeping. Later that morning, the party takes the winding road down the cliff and then joins the main road that cuts through the lone hill in the middle of the town. On the west side of the hill is the manor house of Jekena Junico I. On the eastern side of the hill is the new temple of Chaldasea. They pay a call, but are directed to the old temple near the shore. The new temple is really nothing more than scaffolding at this point. They end up at a cottage near the temple and inquire about Ark Morgan Tyr. They're invited in, and Morgan and the group meet. She introduces them to her daughter, Estrella, and their friend Scala. They sit down and start telling the story about going into the future and temporarily closing the gate. They also tell the story of what happened to Seraph and his attack on Maug. Garu sees that Scala is upset when they tell that story. Finally, they get to the disappearance of Akai, at least what they know about it. Morgan listens and is concerned. She says that this information needs to go to Jekena Junico and the rest of the government. However, there is one story she knows more about, and she places hastily scribed notes in front of them, and she begins to read.